And here we are at Bolton Diggers Hub in Great Lever in Bolton, and we're back with Brian, who's growing his own beer. And can you tell us what's going on, Brian? There's a lot of new growth from when we last checked in with you.
Yeah, well, we're a bit further into April now. The first two beds we've planted have come through. We spent a bit of time digging the top layer off and then, digging the furrows on top of the seed.
Right.
With the second two beds, which have been planted much more recently. This one's about 2 weeks ago, that one's about a week back.
Right.
I just prepared the bed, broadcast the seed on, and then used a Dutch hoe and worked the seed in. And I don't know if you'll be able to see, but this one is coming through, and this one is way behind that one, and that one's another week behind, so there's nothing coming through on that one yet.
So this is coming through fairly quick, this one then, would you say?
Yeah. I think overall it was easier to just broadcast the seed and then work it in with a hoe.
Right. It seemed very quick, that.
Yeah.
There's quite a few popping up here, isn't there?
Yeah. Obviously these are all meant to be in full sun, which they're not because we've got a tree there, but it is towards late afternoon, evening when we lose the light.
Yeah. Seems to be doing well though. I mean, it's doing really well. So what sort of quantity are you looking at getting out of these 4 beds then, Brian, in the end?
Well, I was hoping, I should have actually weighed the grain.
Yeah.
But I ordered 2 kilos.
Right.
Which I thought I'd oversown. And I think I'll do the measurements, but at the moment I think I've oversown. So here it's okay. You find here it's a little bit too dense.
Yeah.
And that can cause problems, something called lodging. If you've ever seen a wheat field where they're all lying flat.
Right.
If you oversow it, you can get this lodging where they just literally fall over in the wind and the rain. Sometimes it happens anyway, but it makes it worse if you oversow. That bed, the final bed that's not come through yet, I used less on. But I've used 2 kilos of grain on this.
Right.
We'll have to see what the yield is at the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, you'll know, won't you, exactly then what you're going to get back from 2 kilos sowing?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't weigh the grain. I'm going to just presume that they gave me 2 kilos.
Yeah.
And we'll work from that. It wasn't far off either way.
Well,
the actual variety is RGT. I've not got it on me. RGT Planet.
All right.
It's not an organic variety. Preferably I'd have gone for Westminster, but literally couldn't find it.
Is that an organic one, Westminster?
It's an organic one, and it works well without the herbicides, without the pesticides, and without all the extra manuring.
Brilliant.
I mean, this goes in. It should be dense enough that I don't have to weed it. It should literally be somewhere in mid to late August, harvest it, and that's it. It's like really nice, easy. It's a good cover crop. I really favour, having read about it now though, doing a winter barley instead.
Do you think you might do that this year? Give it a try.
Not on this plot. It might be another 5 years before this bit goes back to cereal.
Yeah.
But one of the others, and because it provides a cover crop, and instead of, so it suppresses weeds, it builds up the soil biology because you've got life going on instead of just covering it with plastic.
Oh, that's good.
And if you get it, if it goes all the way through and terminates, then again it'll still be August the following year when you're actually harvesting it. But then hopefully you get your barley again.
Brilliant.
So we're going to go and have a look at the hops.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing the hops, Bri. So
Okie doke.
okay, so we've arrived over at the shipping container where Brian's got his hop rhizome, and tell us how it's going, Bri.
It's going okay. I ordered this from Victoriana Nursery Gardens. Basically, you order them over the internet, you get a rhizome in a package, and it comes through the post.
Right, and what variety is it, mate?
It's Fuggles.
Ooh, traditional.
Yeah.
What a beauty.
So this is one that can be traced back to the 1860s. A British hop. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Excellent.
So that's what we've gone for. You look into what sort of beer you like, what sort of hops they want, and then, you know, grow what you want. I know you're growing Goldings, aren't you? Which is a good one.
Yeah, these are both the best hops I've read about.
Yeah.
Goldings and Fuggles.
Right. So when mine arrived, unfortunately I wasn't in, so it got sent back to the depot. And when I got to the depot, the top had been folded over. So initially, all I had was all the green had been snapped.
Oh dear.
And we just had a knot of roots, rhizomes.
Yeah.
So
Looking well that now, isn't it?
cut it all back, and it's made a really good recovery. Just cut it back, planted it, watered it. Make sure you've got if you're doing a container, I mean this one goes into the ground anyway, but you need to make sure it's a really big container.
For the roots?
For the roots,
Yeah.
because they have an extensive root system, but you're better going into the ground. But this stuff is a bit acidic, which is good for suppressing weeds, but not very good for root systems.
Yeah.
So I've decided to build this up on there.
Probably a good bit of forward thinking that way. So tell us about your training regime with them then, Bri, when they...
Right, well, they said to keep the amount of vines, not vines, hang on a minute, cause won't be a minute, lad. I've got, they come out as vines rather than vines, and I'm going to keep it down to 3. You can get multiple ones. I know you've run a few more than 3, haven't you?
Aye.
And I'm going to keep it down to 3. They're going to train up they can grow, probably not in the first year, but the second year they can grow 20 odd feet.
Yeah, easy.
So I'm not...
So are you gonna grow them up and over them, Bri, or over the roof?
I mean, my initial plan was to go across the front, but it's a community allotment. Elizabeth's been working this bit for a long time, so I'm going to make sure that it's overhead height, so it doesn't interfere with whatever Elizabeth's going to be doing down here. And so I might get 2 on here and 1 on top, but that's where it'll get full sun. So, like I said, we'll put it round here just because this bit's already, you know, it's been worked for a few years by Elizabeth.
And presumably they're going to grow quite well over this, because there's quite a bit of, I mean, what have you got? You've got 7 or 8 foot that way.
Yeah.
10 foot or 12 foot that way, is it? Something like that?
Yeah, I mean, if I start running out of space, I can literally just fold them back and train them back over the top of the container if needs be.
That makes sense.
And at the first year we shouldn't be looking at 20 feet or anything like that. It should be all right.
Yeah.
At the moment, just keeping it under the cloth, still getting the odd little frost. These are meant to be hardy as heck, but I'm going to give it every chance it can.
Well, we're still getting frosty mornings, aren't we? Even though we are in the sort of middle of April.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably the best way to go. Yeah. Right. Well, thanks again, Brian. Very interesting and insightful. This grow your own beer. And for anybody who's watched this, please subscribe to the channel. And we'll be doing a number 3 video in a few weeks, hopefully, once this hops rhizome starts going for it and the barley starts growing. So thanks again, Brian. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Cap.